Hey guys, this is Brandon Pitt and you are on the Cruise and Adventure Pit Stop. Today we get the opportunity to look at two different amazing cruise ships. First, the Carnival VISTA and the Carnival Breeze. We're going to be comparing the two in order to figure out which one you should go on for your next cruise. We're going to have 5 different ways that we're going to look at it, trying to answer which cruise ship is better, which one's going to be more fun, which one should we go on, and at the very end, I will give my opinion on which one you should go on and which one I enjoy more. So stick around for that answer and let's dive into the 5 different ways we are going to compare the two cruise ships. One of the main goals of this YouTube channel is to tell you guys what the best cruise is, how to cruise well, how to do it fun, different tips and tricks, but ultimately one of the main goals is how to get the most bang for your buck. I truly believe both of these cruise ships will give you a good value on what you pay, as Carnival, in my argument, does that pretty well. But I believe that there's a little bit of a nuance between the two ships, and this video is going to help you decide which ship to go on. I have had the opportunity to go on both cruise ships post-COVID. So this video will be in light of different changes in policy, in structure, and in the overall cruising experience in the post-COVID world, as that is a way we have to look at it now, at least for the next time, year, 2 years, as it has changed things drastically. With that in mind, the first area of comparison between the Carnival Breeze and the Carnival VISTA is the cruise port. Where are you starting your cruise from and where do you end your cruise at? It's an easy comparison for these two, as they both, as of 2022, they both are leaving from Galveston, Texas, and they're going to be there for the foreseeable future. This is a port that I really like. It's not a huge port and it's not a small port. It's nowhere near as big as Miami and is nowhere near as small as Mobile. It typically only has about 2 cruise ships in at any given time. Actually, the maximum is 2 cruise ships at any given time, and it does a really good job at cycling them in and out. The staff at the Galveston cruise port I have only had positive experiences with over the last year, as I've been there 3 or 4 times. It's been positive experiences and I've enjoyed it on both of these cruise ships and other cruise ships. It's been a great experience and I love the Galveston cruise port. Quick tip, if you are driving into Galveston, I would recommend everyone to drive in at least the day before if you don't live within only 2 to 3 hours, as if you're trying to drive 8, 9, 10 hours the morning of, it is an extremely stressful process that I do not recommend to anyone. If you get a flat tire, if something breaks down, you won't make your cruise ship, and that's not fun for anybody. So drive or fly in the night before so that you're rested up and you're ready to go. But if you are driving in the night before and you want a place to stay, I would highly recommend for everyone to stay in Houston rather than Galveston. As we're trying to get the biggest bang for our buck, you can stay in a much nicer hotel in Houston for about half the price as if you were to stay in Galveston. I think Houston's an awesome city, and I think there's a lot of cool things to explore there, which we will talk about in another video, as it's a cool hub before you get on your cruise adventure for a couple days if you want to do that. In addition to that, the places that both of these cruise ships go are about the same. The Carnival VISTA has an itinerary where you're usually on 7 or 8 or 9 day cruises. Every now and then it'll do a 6-day cruise, but it's typically a 7-night cruise. I prefer 7-night cruises personally, as I think you're able to do a little bit more of the cruise experience and able to enjoy it a little bit more. So I personally prefer a 7-night cruise. The ports of call for most of the Carnival VISTA cruises are going to be to places within the Mexican Riviera as you're on the Gulf of Mexico. So places like Cozumel, places like Honduras, places of those areas. For the Carnival Breeze, it currently only offers a 5-night cruise itinerary. On their 5-night cruises off of the Carnival Breeze, you have the luxury of still attending 2 ports. You see a lot of cruise lines starting to switch to this 1-port model for their 5-night cruises, which I am not personally a fan of. I love having the opportunity or the option to get off on that 2nd port, but if you don't want to, you can stay on the cruise ship. Nobody's making you get off. And the port fees are so minimal for just 1 extra day that I think it's worth having the 2 cruise ports on a 5-night cruise, because I love adventure. That's why I do this. Love adventure and love cruising. So The two ports you'll typically see on a Carnival Breeze itinerary is going to be Cozumel for the first port, and then the second port varies, with one of my favorite ports being Yucatan Progreso. And the only way to get to Progreso currently on Carnival is on a 5-night cruise on the Carnival Breeze. Our second area of comparison on these two cruise ships is the layout of the cruise ship. Let's face it, you're going to be on this cruise ship 5, 6, 7, 8, 9+ nights if you're that fortunate in some situations. So this literal floating city, if you will, is going to be your home. So the layout of that floating city is very important. Are you going to feel crammed? Is there going to be enough space? Is there enough to do? Is there too many people for the size of the cruise ship? The layout is important. For both the Carnival Breeze and the Carnival Vista, you see a lot of overlap in names, in styling points, in the overall vibe of the ship, but there are some very key differences. The first difference that I want to point out is crowd management. I was expecting Vista as the newer ship, as it was built in 2016 compared to the Carnival Breeze, which was built, I believe, in 2012, and they were both refurbished in 2017. I was expecting the Carnival Vista to have superb management and have the perfect sized hallways and all of that, but I was sadly mistaken and let down. The Carnival Vista switched to this new Dreamscape model, which I thought was really cool. It has over 900 presets, and these beautiful dreamscapes in the main atrium lobby portray different things from American flags on Veterans Day celebration to seagulls to turtles to looking like a fish tank to all of these cool abstract colors and very vibrant images. That side of it was cool, but what you did lack was your very classic elevator glass all the way up to the main deck, big feeling lofted ceiling atrium, which in my opinion makes everything feel bigger, more open, and less crammed. And that is what you do see on the Carnival Breeze and all Dream class ships for Carnival. In regards to specifically crowd management, I didn't think the Carnival Vista did as well. You have about 300 to 600 more passengers on the Carnival Vista, even though the crew to passenger ratio, being 2.7, is the exact same on both ships. You have more passengers on the Vista. You might be thinking, Brandon, that means the Vista's bigger, right? No, not necessarily. The gross tonnage and overall length, width, height, all of that of the ship is almost the same. And when you look at it in comparison to that influx of several hundred passengers, it's not that much bigger. In fact, it's smaller in some areas as they have more things to offer for the cruise participants and patrons, but there's not more space. And you see this specifically in some of the walkways, in some of the lines for food, and in some of the general gathering areas, like for the sports deck and for the lounges and the bars and the restaurants and all of those meeting areas where you're trying to have fun. I felt my cruise was too crammed in those areas due to an influx of people and not good crowd management overall. Both cruises were a lot of fun and easy to get around, but crowd management for the Vista was leaving something to be desired. So I would recommend the Breeze in relation to layouts of the overall cruise ship. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video up until this point. I'd like to take a quick second to announce our free cruise giveaway. You heard that right, a free cruise. How do I get it? One of our first 10,000 subscribers will be receiving a free cruise. As soon as we hit that 10,000 point, boom, we'll stop it. We might have another giveaway, we'll see. We'll stop it, and whoever is in that 10,000 subscriber mark will be receiving a free cruise for them and one of their best friends, their spouse, their brother, their sister. I don't care who you take, but you'll be able to take one extra person. So really 2 free cruises, but to 1 subscriber. So if you guys go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like this video, and hit that notification bell, and send this to other people so we can hit that 10,000 mark and we can send somebody on a cruise, because I love cruising and we want to share that with somebody else. Our third area of comparison between these two cruise ships is entertainment. What kind of things am I going to be able to do? Who I'll be able to hang out with? What is going on as I am on this cruise for a lot of hours, for several days, as it's literally a floating city? What can I do? There's a lot of crossovers between the two cruises, so I'm just going to point out some of the differences, as if you know Carnival, a lot of things stay the same, but there are some differences between the two cruises. The Vista has something additional. Both Vista and the Breeze have what's considered a sports square, where they have everything from putt-putt to ping pong to pool tables up on their main deck, and it's a lot of fun. And both of them have one of the first, and I believe still only cruise lines to have a high ropes course. Both of them have the infamous fun high ropes course that I highly recommend, even if you're afraid of heights. Totally worth it. Just make sure you're up there when it's not windy, because it will be closed if it's windy outside. But totally go and check out those high ropes courses. If you want to do the fun sky bike, which is literally like a bike that is suspended off of the side of the cruise ship that you pedal on, it's really fun. It's entrapped and you're safe, but it's a lot of fun with amazing views. That is only on the Carnival Vista. In addition to the Carnival Vista's sky bike, the other place that it has that's entertainment focused is the multiplex. This is still the only 4D, the Vista class has it, but the 4D movie theater. It was the first and only cruise line to do it, Carnival, with a 4D movie theater at sea. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend you go in there and you partake in one of their thrill theater things. It'll shake your chair, it'll blow things in your face, you'll smell things. It is really fun and interesting, and I highly recommend you go watch something in the multiplex. But that is only on the Carnival Vista, not on the Carnival Breeze. In relation to bars, I'm not much of the bar hopper myself, but there are some people that are out there. The Carnival Vista has the Havana and the sports bar. The Havana bar is connected to the Havana Cabanas and Havana Rooms section, but you do not have to be in one of the rooms to go to the Havana bar. I love coffee personally, and they did serve a Cuban coffee there, which is an espresso that is extremely dark and rich, and I enjoyed that a lot. So if you're looking for that, that is one thing you can get at the Havana bar on the Vista cruise ship. They also have a sports bar on the Vista cruise ship, which is a great place to go watch some of the games if you think you're gonna miss one, to get a soft pretzel, amazing soft pretzels, and just enjoy the atmosphere, as it's a very fun atmosphere. They have a poker table off to the side inside of the sports bar. Both of those bars are only on the Vista, and they are not on the Breeze. The Breeze does have two bars that are not on the Vista. That would be the Tides bar, overlooking the Tides pool. It's located in a great area with amazing views of the pool, of the ship, and of the ocean all around you. About a great 180 view where you can outlook everything going on. And you also have the Sports Square bar. In my opinion, when I was on the Breeze, the Sports Square bar was never open. I don't know if they were understaffed in that area, but not once did I ever see that open in the times that I was up there on the Sports Square. In reference to both ships, there's a lot of fun things to do. They will always be having things on the deck that Carnival is notorious for. Both of these cruise ships have an immense amount of slides and fun water things for the kids to do. Both of these cruise ships have a great kids program where you can literally, if you want to, just check your kids in. I don't have kids yet, but if you want to just check your kids in and not see them till 12 o'clock that night, that is a possibility. I don't necessarily recommend that, but it is a possibility. And they have great childcare, and the kids, as I grew up going to cruises as a kid, they're fun activities, and the kids do enjoy them and want to go back and hang out with their friends. So there's some sort of activities in that regard from every single age. There will be something to do, even to the point of Broadway-like entertainment, which in my opinion was about the same caliber on both cruise ships. So there will be something to do for every age all throughout the day. The fourth area of comparison between these two cruise ships is one of the most popular conversations for cruisers, and you guessed it, food. I love food. I eat a lot of food when I'm on cruise ships. I try to stay in shape, but I do eat a lot of food when I'm on cruise ships, and I love food. And I was not disappointed with either one of these cruise ships' foods and what they offered at the base fare without having to pay extra for anything. If you want to just pay the base fare, you have all of the Carnival classics included, like Guy's Burger Joint or Blue Iguana Cantina or Lido Marketplace. You have, and even the pizza place. You have all of those that are included, and some more options like Pig and Anchor barbecue. It's not open every day, but it is open on sea days, and it is open. It's open on sea days and dinner for some nights as an upcharge. But those are the included ones. We do see some offered on Breeze that is not offered on Vista. Both of the things that are offered on Breeze are found in the Lido Marketplace. The first being Indian Tandoor, and the second being a place called Sea Dogs. They both are what they sound like. Indian Tandoor is a section within the buffet that offers specialized Indian food, and Sea Dogs offers hot dogs and things of that nature. You will be able to find them in the regular buffet line for the most part on the Vista, but it's not a specialized extra area, if you will, on the Vista. The Vista does make up for it though, as they offer 3 places not found on the Breeze. The first being a total kitchen seated area that you can go to included at lunch every single day if you want to, and that's Gigi's Asian Kitchen. It's an amazing spot. You walk in, they give you a card, you can check off the areas of food you want, and like a Chipotle type deal or Panda Express type deal, they'll bring it out to you exactly how you ordered it, and you'll be able to eat it, set down, and be fully waited on, included at lunch. In a similar, if you were to do that at dinner, it will be for an upcharge. So I recommend everyone to at least try it once at lunch, and that is found on the Carnival Vista. You will not find that on the Carnival Breeze. The Carnival Vista also has Java Blue Cafe and the Shake Spot that are not found on Carnival Breeze. Both are great spots to either go get some coffee like Starbucks or to go get a shake, kind of like a Jamba Juice type vibe, for found on the Carnival Vista. The main dining room, you will find an interesting format for both. You can choose either early time dining, your time dining, or late dining on both cruise ships. And both cruise ships has two different restaurants that you'll be able to go to, and the menus do cycle through. It's not the exact same menu every single night, which I appreciate. You do see some cruise lines in the main dining room try to kind of get rid of a new menu every night and just give you the same menu every night, and maybe it's not as always good of a food, but Carnival is still doing good food every night in the main dining room, and it does switch with great service. So I recommend the main dining room. I recommend Carnival food, and I think both cruise ships offer great options, although I will have to give it to Carnival Vista for giving a few more options than the Breeze. Our fifth and final area of comparison is likely the place you will sleep every single night on your cruise, unless you somehow miss the cruise castaway time. Let's not do that. Let's be back from the ports on time. That's a different conversation. But yes, our room categories. There's 3 main areas that you can stay in when it comes to booking your room. The first area is an interior cabin. The second is an ocean view cabin. And the third is a balcony cabin. Both the Carnival Breeze and the Carnival Vista have the Cloud 9 staterooms. The Cloud 9 staterooms are, you guessed it, associated to the Cloud 9 Spa, and you have access to the thermal suites, which include a thalassotherapy pool for the Carnival Breeze, and for the Carnival Vista, just a really big, nice hot tub that has minerals and some salts in it in order to help relax you and just relax you. And both of them have saunas, steam rooms, like smell steam rooms, and hot seats you can sit on while you overlook the beautiful ocean. I think that it's a really great investment, and I typically find myself in either an interior room or an interior Cloud 9 room. Down below, comment which cabin you prefer and which cabin you find yourself taking, and for what reasons, as we choose the cabins we're in, sometimes for cost, sometimes for personal preference, or whatever it might be. And put down below when is the next time you will be on a cruise and what cabin you decided to go with. if we look at the Vista did something interesting as they added 2 new cabin types. The first cabin type is the Havana cabins or Havana Cabana cabins. And with this, we see two different ways to get into that. The first being an interior, and then you have the Cabana cabins, which is their stake. Their big, their big milestone or whatever you want to call it. Their prized cabin, and it's the Havana Cabanas. These are think balconies and then a deck. They don't just directly look at the ocean. They kind of have like a whole deck space where they have a hammock out there. They have loungers. They have like deck furniture, and it's all set out there for you to enjoy if you are in the bigger Havana Cabana. They're super cool. One complaint I did hear from a couple people in those cabins is that if you were to walk, anybody who's part of the Havana interior, exterior, has the Havana Cabana or not, all of those guests are allowed to walk outside of the Havana Cabanas to get to the pool. And if I'm in a balcony, I don't really want anybody watching me while I'm on my balcony. And I like that privacy. That is just me. I've heard some people absolutely love the cabanas. They have a cool idea. I personally wish they were a little bit more private, but I know some people might enjoy just hopping out of their cabana, walking on that, and being right there. I mentioned it earlier that the Havana Cabanas, the Havana area has its own bar, pool, and spa area. There's 3 pools on the Vista, and that 3rd pool is in this the specialty area, if you will. The only way to get back there is if you are in a Havana cabin. Down below, we have the Family Harbor, and that's the second additional cabin type that you can choose on the Carnival Vista. It's a new cabin type, and I think it's quite interesting. You see larger square footage of the cabins. You also see in most of the cabins interior and ocean view and balcony. You see that there is a two bathrooms, and I think that's an interesting idea that they did. You have 2 bathrooms for most of your cabins in that section for the Family Harbor. And the real kicker is you have the Family Harbor Lounge. Provides a new area with PS4s and 5s and Xboxes for the kids to play. It also has a little library area for the kids or parents to read. And then it has every single morning a fresh buffet right next to your room. The idea there is that your family, if your kids are crazy or you just want an easy breakfast, they can go grab it with their key card, open up this lounge, then go grab their food that is really well stocked and either eat there or come right back to the room. I saw it work really well for a lot of families, but a little tip, if you are not a family and you don't have kids and don't want kids running around the halls or going in and out of their rooms or going to that harbor section right next to your room, I would not suggest you book a cabin in this section because it is likely that it will be a little bit noisier than the rest of the cruise ship. Finally, we are at that point in this video where I will tell you which cruise ship to go on or not. Obviously, I can't tell you which cruise to choose as there's way too many options. Do you want a more spacious lobby or do you want the dreamscape? Do you want this kind of food or this kind of food? Do you want a 5-day cruise or a 7-day cruise? Do you want to be in the Havana cabins or are you okay with the normal cabin? It is completely up to you, so you have to make that decision off of what we have just talked about. But for me, I personally prefer the Breeze cruise ship over the Vista cruise ship. I enjoyed more of the open areas. I enjoyed more of the atrium. I grew up going on cruise ships and I fell in love with the grand open area of some of the older cruise ships that I've been on. And I like the big lobbies with the very traditional glass elevators in the lobby, and I love that. I also really enjoyed the food and the overall environment on the Breeze, so that one has to take the win over the Vista in this comparison. Although, I must say, I loved the Vista, and I fully plan on going on the Vista here in the near future, as I have an itinerary that I am looking at. But the perfect cruise for me currently doesn't exist, as I would prefer the Breeze over the Vista, but the Breeze simply does not have a 7-night cruise currently available, and I would rather be on a 7-night cruise than a 5-night cruise if my calendar permits it. So that has been the comparison between the two. Put down in the comment which cabin you prefer and which cruise ship you prefer and when you're going on it next. Till then, enjoy cruising, enjoy life, and this has been Brandon Pitt, and you have been on the Pit Stop.